Late inning heroics this year have pushed both the Buccos and Bravos to great records into June.
Gerald Laird is on deck for the Braves. And there's a ball hit out to right field. It's a base hit. Rounding third, Jordan Schaefer. Here's the play at the plate, and he's safe, and the Braves win it.
Ours off first and second, 0-1. And Snyder, a base hit to right center field. Martin's going to get away at home. Here's the throw from Bruce. It's up the line. And the Pirates win the ball game. Travis Snyder with a walk-off winner. It's 5-4.
Just one win separates these National League contenders. A cross-division clash starts tonight. Pittsburgh and Atlanta meet next. On a hot, muggy night in Atlanta, it's time for Braves baseball and a nice crowd gathering here at Turner Field as we get another look at the Pittsburgh Pirates, a very good ball club. For the third year in a row, the Buccos off to a flying first-half start. The Braves own some payback after dropping 3 of 4 at PNC Park in April. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip back with you at Turner Field. Atlanta fresh off a series win over the Washington Nationals. But now, Joe, a new challenge. Look at the standings in the National League Central. The Pittsburgh Pirates actually have one more win than the Braves. They're 2.5 games behind the Cardinals, tied with the Reds, and frankly, a very, very good ball club.
How about the 3 best records in the National League, all being in that one division? Pittsburgh's playing good baseball. They had a chance to climb over the Reds in that division, but lost 2 out of 3 at home on their most recent homestand before coming to Atlanta. In fact, they got shut out twice. But it's not about their hitting. Clint Hurdle's ball club is now pitching really good baseball, and that's the key to their success right now. Tied for the 3rd best record in all the major leagues, but 5th in the major leagues in starters ERA. Their relief corps has the best ERA in all of baseball, and that team ERA since May 7th of 2.38 overall, the best in baseball. They have not given up a lead after the 8th inning. They're perfect in save situations. This is a very good Pirates ball club.
And you said it great just a few minutes ago in Braves Live. 2 starters who hope to see their luck change go at it tonight. A.J. Burnett and Chris Medlin. When we come back, we'll talk about Freddie Freeman's hot start. Freddie's off to a flying start at first for the Braves as we continue in Atlanta right after this. by Delta Airlines and by Ford.
Welcome back to Turner Field, Game 1 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm Elizabeth Morrow. Freddie Freeman joked yesterday maybe he's just not quite strong enough, just inches away from that grand slam. Since coming off the DL, Freddie Freeman hasn't been flashy. He's been consistent. He has not gone hitless in back-to-back games all season long. And when you think about it, when opposing managers can't even strategize you because you hit so well off lefties, you must be doing something right. Which leads us to our Georgia Power hitting the jackpot. Steady Freddie. Freddie Freeman has been incredibly steady over the last 17 games. His numbers speak for themselves. 17 RBI, hitting 368. His 500 average with runners in scoring position is the best in the National League. Chip?
Great point, Elizabeth, and hopefully the Braves offense will be free and easy tonight against A.J. Burnett, a hard-throwing right-hander for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Chris Medlin gets the ball for the Braves, and we've got action in Atlanta. Game 1 of this Braves-Buccos series is coming up right after this. Five-hour energy by the Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, and by Toyota. Just about ready to get started here at Turner Field in Atlanta. A warm, humid, breezy night for the Braves and the Pirates. Atlanta fresh off a series win over the Washington Nationals. They took 2 of 3 from the Nats and start play tonight. 6.5 games up in the National League East. Braves getting good home cooking. They've won 18-7 here at Turner Field and would love, Joe, to pay back the Pirates, who took 3 out of 4 from Atlanta at the start of that very cold mid-April road trip.
And we know that the Braves have been very good in the first game of a series. They won that first game up at PNC Park. The Pirates, on the other hand, have not been very good in the first game of a series, but they've been dynamite thereafter, as they were against the Braves. What happened up there was the Braves just left way too many men on base. I don't even know if they hit 100 with runners in scoring position, because they left something like 40 men on base in what amounted to really 3 games.
Amazing. So they had chances to break through against the Bucks, couldn't, and that's been a sad, familiar refrain for Chris Medlin when he's pitched. Not much run support. The same, though, is true for A.J. Burnett starting for the Pirates, and this is his offensive lineup is presented by Toyota. Starling Marte leads off and is in center field. A scheduled night off for superstar Andrew McCutchen. Neil Walker will bat and play second, then Garrett Jones in right. Gabby Sanchez, the former Marlin, is the cleanup man and is at first base. Travis Snyder had a good series against the Braves up in Pittsburgh. They'll be followed by Russell Martin behind the plate. Pedro Alvarez, a double-digit home run man, is at third. Clint Varmus at shortstop hits eighth, and of course AJ hits ninth.
It's been a long time between wins for Chris Medlin. His last 9 starts, 0-5, a respectable 3.93 ERA, averaging pitching into the 6th inning, but just nothing when it comes to run support. Overall, he's got the second fewest runs support in his starts all year long in the major leagues. His 4 keys to pitching success: back on track and get on track early. Against the Pirates in his first start against them this year, he gave up 2 of his 3 runs in the 2nd inning, and through 2 innings he'd given up 4 hits and left 4 men on base. That took a lot out of him. So try to get on track early tonight, get through the first couple of innings, and then breeze. And how about me, your old pal? Could I have some runs, please? I mean, that's kind of what he's probably going to do, go through the clubhouse, is do a little begging to get some run support, because the Braves have been scoring some runs early for other guys.
1.7 runs per game in his last 9 starts for Chris Medlin. Here's the defense behind him. Upton, and Hayward left to right. Chris Johnson at the hot corner. Freddie Freeman at first. Simmons and Ugla up the middle. And Brian McCann behind the plate. The Pirates at 35-22. They have a winning road record this year. They're 14-11 away from PNC Park. And they start 2.5 games off the pace in the Central. Chris's first pitch, a strike. 83 degrees, 50% humidity. And the wind blowing toward the Braves bullpen tonight. Marte hitting .287, 5 homers, 18 driven in. He is a man that will strike out quite a bit. He had a 5 strikeout game, I believe, against the Braves in Pittsburgh.
He did. He was 1 for 11 in that series. He struck out 7 times, 5 in that one game you talked about.
Did he chase? He did not. And that ball in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Line drive into center field, but BJ's there. Marte hits it sharply, but right at Upton. 1 up, 1 down. And here's Neil Walker. Four homers, 16 RBIs for the Pirates' second baseman.
Seems to me he went on the disabled list shortly after the Braves saw the Pirates. Seems like he was always battling something.
This is his 44th game of the year for the Pirates. Boy, when he went down final month of the year last year, that really derailed any hopes for the Pirates of finishing over 500. Good player, Pittsburgh native. And a pop-up down the left field line. Long run Simmons. Long run Justin, who can't get there, and that's a fair ball. Walker on his way to second and will stand there with 1 out. That ball seemed to hang up in the air forever.
I guess the breeze that is blowing out toward the Braves bullpen kept it fair. Off a left-handed bat, usually that'll slice. And Justin wasn't quite sure where Anderton was. He was trying to peel off and get out of the way. Tough break for Medlin again.
So double for Walker, his 6th, and now Garrett Jones bats. Ball 1 inside.
One of the things that's been noticeable about a comparison of Chris this year to last. Last year he was 5-1 strikeouts to walks. This year just 2-1 strikeouts to walks, and that's the largest decline among major league starters. So one of the things, the relationship there is that when he has gotten ahead of hitters, he hasn't been able to put them away as often as he did last year with either his good changeup or that back foot breaking ball to lefties.
Jones appears to be heating up. He had a long stretch of games without a home run, but boy, he took care of that in a big way in Pittsburgh yesterday.
He became the first Pirate to hit one on the fly into the river over the right field bleachers. Here it was. Big, strong guy, used to be in the Braves minor league system. And that carried everything, an estimated 460 feet plus.
He almost nailed the guys riding the bike, too. So big time power for Jones. Skies this one into shallow center. Simmons goes out. Upton comes in the shadows. Puts it away. Jones is out number 2.
Chris has got good numbers against the Pirates overall, a 3.04 ERA, but he did take a loss up there the last game of that series on April 21st. But as I said, the two of the 3 runs he allowed came in the second inning. He walked 1, struck out 6 in his 6 innings of work.
And if you're wondering if there was any lingering effect for Chris with that line drive to the calf, he said no. I mean, it hurt, but the day after, a normal rest day, total absence of physical activity, and then back to work preparing for this game against Pittsburgh. But that one play, I think, really summarized the first 2 months of the season for him. No luck at all for Chris Medlin, who faces Gabby Sanchez with a runner at second, 2 outs. Line drive into right field. Hayward will get there, and that'll retire the side. Medlin pitches around a Neil Walker double. No score after a half inning. .34-22 mark. Freddie Gonzalez lines him up this way on his Toyota starting lineup card. Simmons, Hayward, Justin Upton 1, 2, and 3. Freddie Freeman's red hot, as Elizabeth told you just a few moments ago. Brian McCann behind the plate. Chris Johnson's at third. Then it's Ugla, B.J. Upton, and Chris Medlin facing A.J. Burnett.
Who's always tough. 36 years old, 6'4", 225 out of North Little Rock, Arkansas. Never had any luck here in this ballpark. 1-8 with a 4.88 ERA. Last year against the Braves, after he'd come back to the National League with the Pirates, he was 0-2 against Atlanta, but had another good ERA of 3.00. Just no run support. Throws hard, good fastball, Tonight, his keys to success: walks. He's walked 10 batters in his last 20 innings pitched. Got a lot of splitters coming your way if you're a hitter, and a lot of cutters.
And his first pitch of the night is popped up on the infield. Gabby Sanchez in on the grass. One pitch and one out. Here's a look at the Pirate defense. Pittsburgh with 36 errors this year. That's turned into 12 unearned runs. They have really improved behind the plate with Russell Martin. Pedro Alvarez settling in at the hot corner. Sanchez, you know about him with the Marlins. Snyder, Marte, and Jones. Again, a different look without McCutchen in center. A scheduled day off for the Pirates star center fielder tonight.
And that's really catching a break if you're the Braves. As good a player as he is.
Jason Hayward with bases empty shows bunt. Jason could use a hit. No hits in his last 19 at bats. That caught a corner, 1-1.
A 140-game winner, A.J. Burnett. 140 and 126.
Durable, consistent. 10 games or more in the win column, 8 straight years. He's done the double-digit thing 10 times. Last year led the Pirates in strikeouts and innings pitched and was 6th in the National League in wins. At 16 and 10 and made 31 starts.
I've just always loved his arm action. He has that slight turn where he kind of turns his back to the hitter slightly, but a little bit of a long arm action, but a real loose finish on it.
And for a Pirate club that's so desperately trying to change its dynamic.
Turns his back to you a little bit, but look at the length of that arm action and how easy the ball comes out of his hand with that good finish and his wrist snap.
Joe, I would think this would be a guy that really legitimizes any pitching staff, but certainly a young one like the Pittsburgh Pirates are putting together.
No, I think so. He was a perfect fit for their ball club with some of the young guys they had, and then they get Wandy Rodriguez at the trading deadline last year. That was a nice compliment too. A right-handed veteran, a left-handed veteran.
So Clint Hurdle's club really pitching well. Not surprisingly, they're within a 2.5 game gap of first place. 2-2 for Jason. And a full count. Like hearing Dan Iasonia behind the plate, tells you where the pitch was. Let him say ball out. Hayward goes the other way. Big turnaround first and slams on the brakes. Smart move. Jason snaps the 0 for 19 with a clean hit to left.
It's his turn. We've seen BJ snap out of it a little bit. Good games back to back. Yesterday, Justin cracks out 3 hits, and now a good pitch from Burnett is hit hard the other way by Jason. It's his turn to join the hit parade. Nice swing.
That brings up Justin Upton. A slider for a called strike. 14 home runs for Upton.
By the way, the guy behind the plate, Russell Martin, he's having a great year throwing out base stealers. 11 for 23.
Another man that's really helped legitimize the Pirate club. Veteran catcher.
Yeah, I don't think you can minimize what effect he's had on the staff.
And he's been versatile. Remember, he played a game at third base against the Braves up in Pittsburgh. So no doubt about it, the Pirates are trending in the right direction again. Upton, by the way, now trails Dominic Brown of the Phillies by 2 for the National League home run lead. See what Dominic Brown's done the last 2 weeks?
He's gone crazy up there, hasn't he?
9 homers and 20 RBIs in the last 13 games for the Phillies. They're playing the Marlins tonight. And Upton down on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 2 outs. And AJ will do that too. He's one of the best strikeout artists in our league.
That's number 90 on the year. Came in tied for second in the league.
He's one behind Jeff Samardzija now of the Cubs, who leads the National League in punch-outs. So Jason at first, 2 outs for Freddie Freeman. No swing, 1 ball, no strikes.
They've got a stat on averages for players when they put the ball in play, meaning take away the strikeouts, and Freeman is third behind Joey Votto and Paul Goldschmidt. 378 when he puts it in play.
I know how much you like to say whip.
Yes.
Do you like saying BABIP? Quite as much?
I don't know that I've ever tried.
Well, here's your chance. The world awaits.
Yeah, I think
batting average balls in play.
I think I'll probably wait.
Okay. You want to practice up for that one before the series ends?
Yeah, I'm afraid I couldn't say it as well as you did.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Believe it or not, A.J. Burnett was originally drafted by the New York Mets back in 1995, an 8th round pick. They traded him to the Marlins in a deal that sent Al Leiter to New York. Pitched a no-hitter for the Marlins once, too.
As you said, it was not a pretty no-hitter. 9 walks in that game?
I think so.
And he said that was one of his goals, was to someday pitch what he termed a pretty no-hitter.
Came close already this year, didn't he?
Yeah, and I can't remember which game that was.
He lost it in the 9th inning.
2 balls and a strike. Runner goes, and a bouncing ball foul. That was, let's see. He had a 1-hitter against the Cardinals on April 17th. He went 7 innings in that game. And 7's as far as he's gone. So
that might have been it. Maybe a leadoff single in the 8th.
He won that game 5-0. The 2-2. Now Jason can run with a full count. As you mentioned, Burnett will walk people. Let's see if Freddie Freeman can keep the inning alive. Runner goes, and again out of play.
Went 6 innings in his last start against Detroit. Got no decision, but the Pirates won the game, and he walked 4 in those 6 innings in that start. Walked 2 in 7 innings. That's a good outing against Milwaukee, and took a loss. Lost 2-1. And the start before that against Houston, he walked 4 in 7 innings and got a no decision. Pirates lost that one 4-2.
Again, the 3-2. And Freeman scorches another one foul. He is making Burnett work on a warm, muggy night.
Here's something I hadn't noticed until I was just looking at those walk numbers. The month of May, he made 6 starts. He went 1-3. Here are the scores of those games real quick. He won 3-1, and then the team lost 2-1, 5-1, 4-2, 2-1 before they won again 5-3.
I'm detecting a pattern here.
Yes. No runs.
Freeman, a line drive, and the Pirates had him played perfectly with the shift. No luck for Freddie Freeman. The Braves get a hit, nothing else, and on we go to a scoreless second inning. Georgia Power, by Ram Trucks, and by AT&T. Not much of a surprise. Both teams get a hit, but neither team can score in the first inning. That's been a theme for the starting pitchers, Chris Medlin and A.J. Burnett. But you look at what the Pirates have done in the last month. That's the subject of tonight's Ram Trucks Power Stats.
It's a lot of firsts, the way I see it. ERA, starters ERA, opponent's average, perfect in saves. That's why they are a formidable bunch and why everybody's a little bit standoffish on them right now because of their dives they've taken the last 2 years, either with 6 weeks to go in the season or even just a month to go in the season last year. Some of it has to do with injuries, but I think this is a different ball club. Certainly the fans in Pittsburgh do. They had about 30,000 yesterday for their game with the Reds.
This is Travis Snyder. He's the left fielder tonight. And your point about the collapse of the Pirates is, look, it's history. It's something you have to talk about. The last 2 years, from August 1st to the end of the year, Pittsburgh Pirates combined record 37 wins, 76 losses. And that's broken the hearts of their fans. I mean, they were thinking 2 years ago that they were going to make the playoffs.
Now look at that, 15 games over 500 last year when things went south on them. And when you play as many games as major league players play, to be that far into the season and have things kind of collapse on you, that is just so disheartening.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Snyder. And look, we know the history of the Pirates. No winning season since Sid slid. They really have tried to change the culture. They've been much more successful in their drafting and development of young minor league players. Cue shot toward short. Simmons side saddle. Fires quickly and got Snyder by a step. 1 out. So you can understand, I'm sure, from their fans' perspective, how much of your heart and soul are you going to offer up in support of the ball club with what's happened?
If there's a difference, though, Chip, I think it's in their pitching. Their pitching and defense has been very good. And the last several years, their pitching's been improved, but it hasn't been the quality of what they're getting right now. And if they can keep everybody healthy, and I think they'll get Charlie Morton back soon also, give him another arm.
Bouncing ball off the bat of Russell Martin. Chris Johnson will throw him out. 2 outs.
So the point is, pitching and defense keep you in it. That's what wins championships for you. And they're proving that. They're not scoring a lot of runs, but they're still winning.
And there's some luck involved, too. Remember, Jerome was talking about Joel Hanrahan, their closer. Well, he ended up with the Boston Red Sox, blew out his arm. And then Jason Grilli has stepped in to become the Pirates closer, and he's 22 out of 22 in saves this year. So to this point, as far as the Buccos are concerned, everything has fallen into place. Got an improvement from this man, Pedro Alvarez. Low average, but 11 homers and 30 runs batted in for the former Vanderbilt star.
Laser Baker just gave me their record through June 3rd last year. It was 1 game over 500, so they're well ahead of last year's pace.
The other big key is they need to do whatever they can to avoid a 19-inning game.
It hasn't worked out so well for them last 2 years.
That one skips by Brian McCann. 2 balls and a strike. Memory serves, Alvarez wasn't swinging it very well until the Braves came to Pittsburgh.
Hit a couple of homers. He only had 3 hits in the series, but 2 of them were homers. Chris Medlin, 3 fly ball outs in the first. So far, 2 ground ball outs this inning.
Clint Barmas, the shortstop, waits on deck. And Alvarez, a shot past second. Ball jumped off his bat, and Dan Uggla couldn't reach it. A 2-out hit for Alvarez.
Tried to bury it in, but it didn't go in far enough. Big, strong guy.
So Barmas bats. Clint batting .210 for the year. He hasn't knocked in a run in his last 11 games and is 4 for his last 31. But he hits one the other way with 2 outs. So Barmas finds a hole, 2 on, 2 out, and Burnett will bat.
Well, when you're going like Clint Barmas and you're 4 for your last 31, you have a hole to work with. Shorten up, try to go the other way, and that's exactly what he did. Got a good pitch to do it on.
And that'll bring A.J. Burnett, a lifetime 115 hitter. Hesitate to tell you that he's 0 for 21.
Bingo.
Ball, 1 strike. That's foul, 1-2. And a swing and a miss takes care of the Pirate pitcher. Couple of 2-out singles for Pittsburgh, but nothing doing in the second. When we return to the Braves half of the inning, Brian McCann will get things started for Atlanta. Still no score. Running against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Game 1 this evening. Tomorrow night we meet Pittsburgh again, and here are our Chevron upcoming starters.
Mike Minor would be going for his 8th win. He's tied for the team lead with Paul Mahalem against Jeff Locke, a former Atlanta Brave draftee, who's 5-1 on the year. He has really been a nice addition to their rotation. He pitched pretty well for them at the end of last year, but he's settling in now as a real solid part of the rotation with an excellent ERA. 2 lefties.
So we'll look forward to that tomorrow evening. Good weather expected here in Atlanta. If you haven't made your plans, we hope you'll join us. And then we'll wrap up the series and the homestand Wednesday afternoon, an early start, as the Braves will make their way to the West Coast.
Braves are 12-6 against left-handed starters. The Pirates are 5-6.
So Brian McCann starts things off for the Braves. .264 average, 6 homers, 15 driven in. Screen, it's 0-2. McCann up first. Chris Johnson to follow. He's our Delta Airlines on deck batter.
Hit a home run against him up in that series in Pittsburgh earlier this year.
One ball, 2 strikes. Keep in mind, this is the first action for Brian against the Pirates. He was still coming back from the shoulder problems. Two and two. The Braves making A.J. Burnett work, huh, Elizabeth?
Probably not the way the Pirates wanted to start. He threw 21 pitches in that first inning. Yesterday, 5 Pirate relievers combined to pitch 10 innings. And although they went scoreless to avoid the sweep at the Reds, probably not 21 pitches is what they wanted right out of the gate.
Good point, Elizabeth. They lost their starting pitcher in the second inning with some forearm tightness.
Made a couple of roster moves today to get some fresh arms in their bullpen. As McCann takes inside, and Burnett wants to know where that pitch was.
You know, he didn't get the call on a pitch they tried to get Hayward on last inning. It's called a ball inside. Looked like a good pitch. Tries to do the same thing here. Boy, there was nothing wrong with that on Fox Tracks. Brian sold it pretty well, trying to act like he was getting out of the way, but you can understand why Burnett was a little peeved.
So there's one of those walks for AJ, and it brings up Chris Johnson. Good rip, but foul to the screen. Strike one. Chris had a good run up in Pittsburgh and is 2 for 5 against Burnett in his career.
Yeah, more hits than anybody in that series for Atlanta.
Nothing in 2.
By the way, Chip, I was off when I said they hit about 100 within the scoring position. I was way off. They hit 130 with runners in scoring position at PNC Park.
Short lead at first for Bryan. And Johnson is struck out. One man down in the second inning. Second strikeout for A.J. Burnett. Here's Dan Uggla. I'm with you. This guy's a lot more fun to watch pitch here than I'm sure it is in the batter's box. But boy, he is very smooth in the way he releases the baseball.
Came in with just a 199 batting average against him. That hit by Hayward was the 55th he's allowed in 70, what is now his 78th inning.
Ball 2 inside. A couple of former Marlins squaring off here in the second. Dan Uggla for the Braves. 10 homers, 20 knocked in. Three and 0. And 4 straight has McCann at second and Dan Uggla at first with 1 out, and B.J. Upton coming up.
B.J. popped one out of here yesterday in his first at bat. I noticed today, watching him take batting practice, that one of the obvious things was how the ball was jumping off his bat again, which to me indicates a guy who's a little more relaxed. His hands aren't squeezing the sawdust out of the bat and getting the barrel to the baseball. It was jumping today for him.
And these two men have faced each other a lot. Burnett, of course, in his days with Toronto and the Yankees. B.J. while playing with Tampa Bay. No balls and a strike. Martin tried to steal a strike, didn't get it.
Burnett wanted that one too. He's gone to a 3-ball count. 4 of the last 6 hitters. Good call by Iasonia there. Out of the lineup, the only guy that didn't get to a 3-ball count at the beginning was Simmons, who hit the first pitch.
High fly ball center. Marte is going to drift back. And Upton flies out for the second out of the inning. Let's see if Chris Medlin can help himself. Chris 1 for 17 at the plate. One ball, one strike. If you're a believer in poetic justice, Medlin's going to get a hit and help himself take a lead. And a good cut. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's what got in the way of A.J. Burnett last inning. He does not believe in poetic justice, and that's why he struck out with a runner in scoring position.
No doubt. McCann at second, Ugla at first. A 1-2 pitch to Chris. Well, maybe next time. Burnett with his 3rd strikeout, 2nd of the inning. The duel continues. No score heading to the 3rd.
The 3rd time now for our SunTrust shining moment. Well, Evan Gattis continues to impress. He has been named the NL Rookie of the Month for the 2nd straight time in the month of May. 16 RBI and 6 home runs. It's been fun. All of this all-star talk and all this home run derby for him.
What an honor, Elizabeth, indeed. As Evan Gattis, the top rookie in the National League in the first 2 months of the season.
Again, how can he not be with the things he's been doing? Not in the lineup tonight, but boy, he's had some good things really working well the whole month of May, but really the last 2 weeks of May he was unbelievable with respect to all the clutch hitting he was putting together.
And with the all-star voting underway, I don't believe Evans on the ballot, but you can write him in.
Yep.
Never know if his start
I'm sure he's going to get a lot of attention from Bruce Bochy, the National League skipper. And I think Evan has said already that if invited, he would love to participate in the home run derby, and that would be a real treat too. So his whirlwind rookie season, another honor for Evan Gattis today. Top of the order, Starling Marte. He lined out to center to start the game for the Pirates.
By the way, the Braves made a deal today. Juan Francisco had been designated for assignment. The Brewers came calling and a deal was made.
Medlin pounces, throws off stride and late to first. Marte with good speed aboard with a leadoff hit.
Good bunt by Marte here. Chris was the one that had the best opportunity, got to it first, but Marte too fast. Braves got a double-A left-handed reliever from the Brewers named Tom Keeling.
So we wish Juan well, and Keeling will help stock the Braves minor league system. Boy, the Brewers searching high and low for any kind of help they can get, huh? They've had a rough start. Milwaukee 13 games under 500, dead last in the Central. A strike to Walker.
Marte runs a lot. He's tied for second in the league in stolen bases with 15, tied with John Segura of Milwaukee, who's having a great year at shortstop for the Brewers. Everett Cabrera of San Diego leads with 21 already.
Little tapper off the bat of Walker. That's going to trickle foul. And Chris ahead of him. No balls, 2 strikes.
Marte's also been caught 6 times.
Runner goes. The pitch, a ball. The throw to second is in time. Fifth runner McCann is gunned down this year. Marte is out number 1.
That wasn't a pitch out, but it was as good as one. Brian got a good pitch to catch and throw on. Made an excellent throw. And they got him just before his hand got to the bag. Simmons taking the throw right in front of the base. Got him before he got there. Good catch and throw by Brian.
And it's a good thing he got him, for Neil Walker just got hit with a 1-2 pitch.
Did he even move?
Not much. So Chris was ahead of Walker and hit him.
Later in the game, he's going to really wish he had picked that foot up and not just tiptoed.
Kick save and a beauty for Walker. Here's Garrett Jones. He flied out to center. He jumps on the first pitch, skies it into shallow right center. B.J. Upton comes on and makes the play, throws back to first on the run, high, ricochets off the camera well. McCann backs up, throws to second, not in time. Oh, Simmons thought they nailed Walker. It's a fly out to center, and a throwing error puts Walker at second base.
Boy, BJ had to go a long way to get that. They were playing Jones deep. Brian went over, backed up the play. Andrelton thought they got this out, and he's right.
Here's Gabby Sanchez.
Take another look at that last play. Brian's throw. Yeah, he's out.
It looked too on that play, Joe, like Jerry Davis was scrambling back to second base. Yeah, he had the overthrow. He was looking to see if the ball went in the camera well, and then had to run back to second base.
Well, the first base umpire had to go out for the outfield play to see if it was going to be caught, trapped, whatever. So he's got, if there's a play at first, he's got to go over first for that throw and then go back to his base. So he was hustling all over the place.
He's a good umpire, too.
Been in the league a long time.
So bang bang play goes Pittsburgh's way. Still no score as Sanchez looks low. 3 balls, 1 strike. This guy was a real good player with the Marlins. But has struggled with bats since. Full count.
Hit the ball really hard his first time up to Jason, and he likes to go that way. He's got good power to straightaway center, as he demonstrated in a home run at Pittsburgh against the Braves. But he tends to like the ball middle of the plate and away.
Everybody talks about the salary purges that the Marlins made. Not many remember that Gabby Sanchez might have been part of that. They dumped him at the deadline to the Pirates from Gorkys Hernandez. As this ball shot toward right center field and over the head of Upton, and that's going to bounce into the seats for a ground rule double. Braves wish he was still a Marlin at the moment. He just doubled to put Pittsburgh in front. And the hit batsman and the safe call at second comes back to haunt Medlin.
Yeah, that really hurt. Play at second. Mislocation again with a fastball. It was supposed to be down and away, but it was up and out over the plate. And again, this guy likes the ball away from him and did what he does best.
His 19th RBI. He's doing a good job in the cleanup spot for Pittsburgh, and he gives A.J. Burnett an early lead. Two strikes to Snyder. Brad Lincoln went to Toronto. Snyder came from the Blue Jays, also at the deadline last year. Popped up. Will it stay in play? No such luck. And a swing for Snyder. Ripped down the right field line and just foul.
I don't know if that was a straight change up or a breaking ball that didn't do much. Breaking ball that didn't do much. And Chris fortunate that that got yanked foul.
Two balls, two strikes. And Snyder swung through that. Pittsburgh manufactures the game's first run. A hit batsman, an error, and a ground rule double gives the Buccos a 1-0 lead. Nothing as the top of the Braves order comes up for inning number 3. It's trivia time. Our AT&T U-verse trivia question. A.J. Burnett's 11 career losses against the Braves are the second most among active pitchers. Who has the most losses against the Braves among pitchers still pitching?
That's a real good question. One I want to know the answer to, but I don't. But I'll be anxious to hear the answer.
I admit I have no idea. We have time to think of the answer. Andrelton Simmons, one pitch out to start the game. Takes a strike over the outside corner.
Carlos Tosca asked me today by the cage. He said, you know, I was watching a playback of the game the other day, and the trivia question was who has the most runs scored and hits in interleague play. And he said, I didn't see the answer. He said, was it Jeter or A-Rod? I said, well, you're close. Nick Markakis. He went, no way. That's wrong.
One of those questions we had no shot.
Yeah.
From the get-go. Another tough one tonight. Simmons rolls one foul to stay alive. It's 0-2. He's been swinging a hot bat. Andrelton, an 8-game hit streak working.
Hung in there on a good curveball. It's thrown right at him. Didn't flinch at all.
Bounce toward third. Alvarez gloves and makes the play. Simmons is out number 1. Jason Hayward has the lone Braves hit. Nice at bat in the first inning. Fought off a couple of pitches, worked the count, and then singled the other way past Alvarez. His first hit in 20 at bats. No balls and a strike. Right there, 0-2. Back up the middle. Nice pick by Barmes at short. And Hayward's retired for the second out.
Well, I thought that was a base hit all the way. Barmes was playing him up the middle and actually fielded this ball on the first base side of second. See how much he's cheated up the middle, and look where he fielded it. Robbed him of a hit.
2 outs for Justin Upton.
Hit.
Justin's strikeouts are starting to climb. Went down swinging in the first inning tonight. He's up to 66 of them. In fact, the Braves have 3 hitters at 65 strikeouts or more. Justin, BJ, and Dan Ogley.
Justin seems to have come recently. I mean, it piled up lately. He's got 17 in his last 37 at bats.
Two balls, 1 strike. Pittsburgh leads 1-0. A hit by pitch, a throwing error, and a ground rule double. Two balls, 2 strikes.
He can elevate his fastball when he wants to. It's good enough to get away with it up there. That one was 92. He had one earlier tonight at 94. And at age 36, he can still bring it.
That's over the outside corner. Upton argues. Dan Iasonia rings up Justin Upton for the second time. 4 strikeouts for A.J. Burnett. He leads 1-0.
1 inning ago, and a couple of Braves mistakes.
Walker didn't do too much to get out of the way of that. On a pop-up, looked like there might be a play at first. B.J. Upton overthrew Freeman. Brian McCann appeared to throw him out at second base. But then he came around to score on the double, the ground rule double by Gabby Sanchez.
So Pittsburgh's up a run. Bottom part of their order coming up in the 4th. It starts with the catcher, Russell Martin. Pirates gave Russell Martin a big contract, and he's paying big dividends for them. Last year had a career year with home runs, hit 21 of them with the Yankees. He's already got 6 for the Pirates this year. He's a 3-time All-Star, won a Gold Glove in 2007. With the Dodgers, the Yankees, and now Pittsburgh. And he almost got hit with that pitch.
He's a notorious first pitch fastball hitter. They started him with back-to-back changeups, one for a ball and then one that he just figured was going to be a fastball next. And he was hacking no matter where it was.
Now 2-2. Strike 3 takes care of Martin. Now it's his turn to grumble. He'll want that pitch for A.J. Burnett, so he's got to be careful. 1 away in the 4th.
Well, he got exactly that same pitch called for his pitcher. And that may have been what caused him to not say anything. That's what got Justin Upton rung up. He did.
You bet he did. Chris has done a good job of getting ahead. He has surrendered 5 hits so far. 0-2 to Alvarez. Number 2 overall pick back in 2008. One of 5 number 1 picks by the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are on their 40-man roster.
They've had a lot of early picks.
To second. And 2 outs. What really excites the Pirates too, Joe, is that they have more young pitching on the way. You mentioned Charlie Morton coming back from Tommy John surgery. They have Francisco Liriano, who's a veteran. He's pitched real well for them. But 2 big-time arms in Garrett Cole and Jamison Taillon. Very highly thought of pitching prospects, starting pitchers.
Did they get both of those guys in the same draft, or were they in consecutive drafts?
I'll check for you.
I know one of them was, I think, Texas A&M, that they really like a lot. I want to say that was Taillon.
One ball, 1 strike to Barmes. Cole was the number 1 overall pick in 2011. Barmes skies 1 to Jason Hayward in right field. He's got it. And we'll tell you, Jamison Taillon, 2nd overall in 2010 for the Pittsburghers. 1-0 your score.
only do you have what's happening with the Braves on the field here, you've got the June draft coming up, and Frank Wren keeping a close eye on college baseball too, with good reason.
Yeah, his son Kyle plays for Georgia Tech. They're in the regional championship game tonight up in Nashville against Vanderbilt, who was one of the top seeds nationally in the regional tournament. Georgia Tech beat him yesterday to force a second game, and Vandy's up 2-0, I think, by the third or fourth inning.
A.J. Burnett faces Freddie Freeman in the fourth. 1 ball, no strikes. Three straight out of the zone for the Braves first baseman.
And Burnett wants to know what was wrong with that one. Oh, maybe you just want to know the count.
Pittsburgh shifts with a 3-0 pitch coming. And 4 straight puts Freeman at first. Now Burnett wants to know where it was.
He hasn't been getting that pitch all night to lefties. Inside, inside, inside has been the call by Iasonia. Now he's been calling it generously against right-handed hitters, as we saw to Justin Upton and to Russell Martin. But box tracks will show you that one was a strike. And again, that's the second time Burnett's questioned that call, and the second time Burnett's been right.
So here he is in the fourth inning, already 3 walks to go with 4 strikeouts. And Brian McCann digging in. Goes inside again, misses again. 1 ball, no strikes. Brian needs 2 hits for 1,000. He missed again. 3-0.
Wanted to know if that one was up, and Iasonia nodded yes.
Green light?
Yes.
3 balls and a strike.
But he was taking, you could see how he relaxed as the ball was being pitched, taken all the way.
Got the fastball by. Full count. Right on it.
Yeah, he caught up to that one. About his 199 batting average against coming in. Right-handers only hit 170 against him. Lefties 235.
Runner goes, drive, deep right field. Braves lead.
His timing got better with each pitch, didn't it? Fouled one back with a good swing and nailed that one.
Hit number 999 for McCann puts the Braves in front. Now Chris Johnson. Nobody out still. And Burnett closing in on 70 pitches. And he missed again inside.
He had a long look in at Iasonia too after the homer. Fastball split the plate. Brian jumped all over it. There's that sound again.
Now Johnson hits a bolt to left. Snyder can't get it. It's off the fence. A ringing double for Chris Johnson. Burnett is missing the corners, but he's not missing the middle of the plate here in the fourth.
Fastball that tailed back to Chris. He fell behind in the count and struck out his first time up. And on a 1-0 count, he nailed that one. Looked like Snyder might have gotten some leather on that too on the dive.
Pirates infield meets on the mound to give A.J. Burnett a breather. Dan Uggla the batter. He walked in the second inning. One ball, no strikes. Up and away, ball two. Time for our Home Depot tools from the dugout.
Vast improvement here by the Braves over the last 16 games, and their record reflects it too. But right now, a little small ball in order. Get that guy over, get him in. Good curveball. Excellent 2-0 curveball.
Good lead at second for Chris Johnson. 2 balls and a strike to Dan. That shaved a corner.
See, he's given that pitch away. I mean, that's geographically the same spot around the plate, but to right-handers it's being called a strike. To left-handers it's not.
Let's see if it goes out there again with a 2-2 count. He did. And Uggla swings and misses. Unproductive out for Dan. He's struck out for the 71st time this year. Johnson at second, 1 out for B.J. Upton.
And that's 14 for Dan in his last 28 at bats.
Let's see if B.J. can pick him up. Fly to center. To short. Barman
Thomas. 2 outs. EJ's 0 for 2. Johnson still at second. Now the inning is left to Chris Medlin. One ball, no strikes.
Here we go. Sonia's got a short fuse, but when the pitcher's standing out there giving you hand signals about height and where the pitch was and not calling it a strike, saying it's not high. But this is the way it's been going so far tonight.
Well, we're in the 4th inning. I mean, by now he's got to know what the strike zone is.
You would think he would have figured it out that he's not going to get that call in there.
It's inside.
And you hear Iasonia again. And I think he just threw either Russell Martin or A.J. Burnett out of the game.
Russell Martin never turned around. He might have been saying something, but he never turned around.
Now, was it Martin or was it Burnett?
I'm not sure.
And usually the code of ethics is as long as the catcher doesn't turn around, no one in the ballpark knows a word's been said.
Told you it was a short fuse, and Clint Hurdle's about to go.
And I think
it's Martin.
Yep, and I think Iasonia said, I warned him. If you can read lips.
Well, Martin was headed to the mound to get away from him. Whatever he said was a magic word.
And that's usually a pronoun. So Martin's ejected. Clint Hurdle's ejected. And this has been the point of contention for A.J. Burnett all night long. The inside corner to left-hand hitters.
This was the pitch before. No, that was the ejection. Beg your pardon. The pitch before that got Iasonia's attention was one where Burnett thought he called it high. Look at Burnett. He's saying what? And then he's showing it. Pitch was right here. I mean, and then he says that's the 3rd time. Hold up 3 fingers. That's the 3rd time.
Well, this works out well for the Braves. You lose your Pirates, you lose your frontline catcher. But again, nobody in the ballpark knew anything that Russell Martin said, with the exception of the home plate umpire, Dan Iasonia.
Yeah, and there's a lot of leeway given for catchers who might be complaining in a rather vociferous way, as long as they don't show up the umpire by turning around and yelling at him. But I repeat, Iasonia's got a very short fuse. And Martin had his head down, and as he's walking away, whatever he said, he got launched.
So Martin ejected. Clint Hurdle ejected here in the Braves' 4th. A.J. Burnett will now face Chris Medlin with a 2-0 count, and a new catcher, Michael McHenry, takes over behind the dish. And now he'll go to the mound to make sure he and Burnett have the right signs with a runner at second and 2 outs.
A leadoff walk and a homer, then a double.
They made Burnett work. 2 balls, no strikes. Two and one.
That would have been the
worst of the 3.
That might have been the highest pitch he's thrown all night for a strike.
Now it's 3 and 1. That would split the plate, full count. I want to keep an eye on home plate because A.J. Burnett's due to lead off the 5th for the Pirates. Lemon ground ball sharply hit. But Walker makes the play, and that retires the side. A leadoff walk and a 2-run homer for Brian McCann gives Chris Medlin a 2-1 lead after 4. Well, he'll have a chance to maybe say a word or two as he steps in the box to start this 5th inning for the Pirates. A walk and a McCann homer turns the game around for the Braves. Let's see if Burnett goes about his business. Nary a word. Medlin to work. Strike 1. There's your lead, Chris. See if he can get the Pirates quickly in the 5th. Retired 4 straight. He struck out 3 tonight. And just missed the outside corner.
As frustrated and as angry as A.J. Burnett is, he's got to stay in the game. It's only a 2-1 game for the Pirates.
And a base hit to right field. Burnett didn't run. That ball stayed fair. He thought it was going to twist foul. And if Hayward had seen him standing at home plate, he might have had a shot at throwing him out at first base from right field.
He had a definite shot at him. I don't think Burnett knew where the ball went. Let's watch his head here. He's looking. What? I haven't had a hit all year. Who's going to pick his bat up? That was crazy.
His first hit of the year. So an inauspicious start. Pitcher aboard for Marte. He's lined out and bunted for a hit tonight.
And my point is that he hasn't been given much run support this year. We've talked about that a lot, but he's only down a run. And as much as he might like to get in Iasonia's face, he needs to keep his head and stay in the game. He does the right thing for his teammates.
Toward third, Johnson smothers, has to load up, and that cost him.
And he had a play on Burnett. Nice play, save an extra base hit. Burnett didn't take off. He thought it was probably a foul ball, so he didn't run right away. But he had a better chance of getting Burnett at second.
So let's see how Pittsburgh plays it here with Walker in the box. He's doubled and has been hit by a pitch. 2 on back-to-back hits, and nobody out.
Well, whatever happens here, make sure you check on Burnett first, because like Laser Baker said, he hasn't been on base all year, so he doesn't really know what to do.
Popped up. This is an infield fly. And thankfully Simmons was there, and thankfully it was the infield fly because Johnson lost it.
So did Andrelton until the last second. Made a basket catch. It's that time of night. Right here, Chris is, and Andrelton was watching Chris and had to scramble.
Here's Jones. He's flying out to center twice. It's so rare seeing the infield fly called in the infield dirt here at Turner Field.
Now. Don't get us both going.
28 RBIs for the Pirates right fielder.
Good changeup. He's had a good change tonight. There's Jones way out on his front foot.
Why not throw another one? Surprising stat. Jones has only hit the 1 double play this year. Number 2 would sure be nice. We'll have to wait another pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See how Andrelton was ready there on that throwback by McCann that just got off the glove of Medlin. Andrelton, it's one of those things where an infielder backs up that throw, but the one time they don't, there's an overthrow. Not Andrelton. He's always there anticipating a bad throw.
Ground ball toward first. Freeman fires to second one. On to first in time. There's the double play. Medlin pitches around 2-on with nobody out and preserves a 2-1 Atlanta lead.
Georgia Power Energy tip number 4. Jeff Blauser, Duke Snyder, number 4. Save up to $100 a year when you properly use a programmable thermostat. Set your thermostat to 78 degrees during the summer to save both money and energy.
I like it anytime you get the name Jeff Blauser on a Braves broadcast. Hope the old spunky shortstop is doing well.
Spunky?
Yes.
That's what we used to call him.
Really?
Spunky.
Called him a lot of things.
Yeah.
As we take a peek back at that crazy 4th inning.
Complaints. Burnett says the pitch was right here. It wasn't high. And then on the next pitch, Russell Martin complained and he got thrown out. And Clint Hurdle took up the argument, as managers will, to protect their players. And he gave Iasonia an earful. You know, Clint's usually got a big jaw full of bubble gum,
right?
Which makes him very saliva-like when he goes out there, but he didn't have his bubble gum when he went out, so that probably kept him from spraying Iasonia.
Maybe kept him in the game.
No, it didn't do that.
Well, for a few moments.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Russell Martin cussed out Iasonia in English or in French.
You'd probably get away with a lot more in French.
Pretty good chance.
But I don't think he said "sacre bleu" when that caused the ejection.
And now he and McHenry having a polite conversation as the top of the order up for the Braves is Andrelton Simmons. He's popped out and grounded out. Strike one. The last half inning, really the story of the year for A.J. Burnett and the Pirates when he pitches. 2-on, nobody out, and they can't break through. Garrett Jones hit into a double play. Andrelton, a little tapper. Tough play for Alvarez, who put it in his pocket. Infield hit for Andrelton Simmons. 9-game hit streak.
Perfect swinging bunt. No chance at all for Alvarez, even though he's right there by the bag. Nice. Just put that one in his pocket.
Jason singled his first time and had a hit taken away by Clint Barmas, who was playing him right up the middle. That was back in the Braves' 3rd inning.
Braves hoping to tack an extra half game on their division lead tonight. The Nationals are idle. At the moment, the Braves lead by 6.5 in the East. The Pirates looking up in the standings at Cincinnati and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are hosting Arizona tonight. The Reds at home against Colorado, and both home teams lead 1-0.
Mike McHenry, the catcher who came in for Russell, a solid receiver in his own right, but he is nowhere near Martin when it comes to throwing out base stealer. He's only 1 for 20.
Swing and a high fly ball down the right field line. Did he keep it fair? Yes! Jason Hayward's first homer since April 16th.
Goodness. This is third of the year, but Burnett had only allowed 4 all year, and he's given up 2 tonight to left-handed hitters. McCann and now Hayward. Sorry, Zaxby's indescribably good play as he drove that right down the line. He's third of the year.
And after an 0 for 19 stretch, Hayward tonight is 2 for 3.
Yeah, I said it was his turn.
You're right about that. 4-1 now. It's Justin Upton has a big cut. Steve rank 1.
Jared Hughes, who was just called up, begins to loosen up for the Bucks.
Jean-Marc Gomez was disabled. Alex Presley was sent to AAA. And Hughes, one of 2 pitchers brought up. And now Upton goes the other way. Justin had 3 hits yesterday. He's 1 for 3 today, and that's 3 consecutive Atlanta hits after, you'll recall, Burnett was on the bases the entire top half of this inning.
That was a curveball, too, and looked like a pretty good one. Remember the one he threw to Andrelton Simmons earlier tonight that Andrelton took, didn't flinch much on? Looked like a similar pitch. And Justin got that front foot down, took it the other way. Nice piece of hitting for him.
Freeman scorches one deep left. Snyder going back at the wall. That one's gone. He just missed a grand slam yesterday. This one a no-doubt laser beam over the fence and left. And it's suddenly 6-1 Atlanta.
When you can hit the ball the other way with authority like Freeman does, and this one was up to allow him to extend on it. But we've been talking about when he's at his best, he's going gap to gap. Well, that's right over the 380 mark the other way. Really impressive.
McCann, a bouncing ball. Walker to his right makes the play, and that's the first out of the inning. The amazing stat is the one you just mentioned. Burnett had given up 4 homers all year. McCann's hit 1 out. Hayward's hit 1 out. Freeman has hit 1 out. That's 3 homers tonight, and he's not through the 5th inning. Chris Johnson has doubled and struck out. Nothing in 2. We're at the top of the hour in Atlanta. Joe Simpson, Elizabeth Morrow, Chip Carey at Turner Field. 6-1 is your score. The Braves with 3 2-run homers tonight. A little pop beyond first, and he'll take a hop and hit the seats. 2 tough luck pitchers and A.J. Burnett. Chris Medlin squaring off in the opener of this series. So far, the bad luck for Burnett in the run column has continued. But how about Chris Medlin? He's got a 5-run lead suddenly.
Yeah, and a wealth of runs. I'm not sure he's had this many runs scored in any of his starts while he's been in the game.
Another little flip of the bat down the right field line, and no chance for Danny Sanchez. Sometimes in this game it's not how you pitch but when. That certainly has applied to Medlin. But maybe the biggest inning of the game is the one he pitched in the top of this 5th. Braves led 2-1. He had 2 hitters on, nobody out. 2, 3, 4 hitters lurking on that lineup card for Pittsburgh. He got a pop up and a double play. And then bang, the Braves put up 4 against Burnett here in the 5th.
Was warming up, but looks like he's about to take a seat.
Toward right center field. That's going to get down for Johnson. Marte had a little trouble on the warning track. Chris is going to round second. He's going to go for third. The throw is going to be in time.
There was a little bobble out there by Marte that gave Chris the idea that maybe he could get third base out of it. Good try on his part, but an outstanding relay by the Pirates. Great throw by one of their middle infielders. I'm not sure which one took the throw from Marte, but a great throw. Let's see who it was. That was Walker, it looked like. And a nice scoop by Alvarez on the throw, too.
8-4-5 is the play that retired Johnson at third after his second double of the night. And now 2 outs. Base is empty for Dan Uggla, who has walked and struck out. That's foul, nothing in 2. A.J. Burnett about to make his 100th pitch of the game.
Came in with a 2.72 ERA.
As I said earlier, he may have missed the corners, but he's gotten an awful lot of the middle of the plate in this game.
Yeah, he didn't miss many barrels.
No.
Not this inning anyway.
6 runs on 8 hits for the Braves in game 1. And now 2-2. Alvarez, a little snow cone action. Makes the peg, and that retires the side. Two-run homers in the Braves' fifth. Jason Hayward kept one fair down the right field line. Then Freddie Freeman followed with a blast over the 380 sign in left center. And the Braves have a 5-run lead.
Well, the first person to jump off the bench when Jason Hayward hit that homer in the 6th inning was B.J. Upton, and he was the first person. He made sure on the stairs to greet a guy that knows what it's like to struggle. He also did his secret handshake. Of course, there were hugs from Freddie Freeman and Dan Uggla, but how good for Jason Hayward to snap that 0-for-19 streak in the 1st inning and then to get that homer, his 3rd of the year, and it stayed fair.
I asked Jason today by the batting cage, I said, "How you hanging?" And he said, "I'm fine." And I said, "Well, none of this is because you're not working hard enough." And he goes, "That's never the problem." I said, "Well, hang in there." And he said, "I am." So it's good to see him get some fruits from all this work, just like BJ the last couple of days.
The man happiest of all is the man on the mound, Chris Medlin. The most runs that Chris has had to play with since his last start of last year. He's up 6-1. Again, 1.7 runs per game while in the game for Chris over his last 9 starts.
You know, the last start when he got nailed, that line drive damaged his ERA too. He gave up the 3 runs and he only went 2 innings, so that really kind of piled on the fact that he was hurt.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The count to Gabby Sanchez. Playing first base for Pittsburgh. He doubled home their lone run. Ground to short. Simmons. Long throw. Freeman the stretch and scoop.
Andrelton's so good. I mean, he was already beginning to plant his right foot when he stretched over across his body to glove this. So he was already getting his body in a position to throw by planting his foot. Good play.
He needs a vacuum cleaner endorsement.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? On to watch. Here's Snyder. Travis over for 2. And a big swing and a miss. Eleven of his 17 RBIs came in the month of May. Yes, a couple of homers, a .259 average at the moment. That change missed. 2 balls and a strike. 2 more with the Pirates, then we're off to L.A. 4 with the Dodgers coming up at Dodger Stadium. They are ravaged by injury. Talk more about the Dodgers as this series rolls along. 3 balls and a strike. Full count to Snyder. Medlin rallies to get him. 2 outs.
Good fastball. Good two-seamer. Looked like it was running away from him. Good action on it.
And now Chris will face Mike McHenry, and he took over for Russell Martin. He and Clint Hurdle ejected in the 4th inning. A note about the Dodgers. They've got the Padres tonight, and I believe this is the first time that they will see Carlos Quentin. He was on paternity leave after the Zach Greinke charging the mound incident, and according to some press reports, an anonymous Dodger was quoted as saying, "We're going to get him."
Wow.
So that's something to keep an eye on later on tonight.
They've got so many guys on the DL, they better have an army.
Kemp's hurt. Crawford's hurting. Hanley Ramirez is hurting. Chris Capuano not going to pitch tonight. He's got a triceps problem. A.J. Ellis is on the DL for the Dodgers. And McHenry on a 1-2 count rolls out. Chris Medlin keeps momentum in the Braves dugout. He's due second in the 6th, and it's a 6-1 Atlanta game. As we head to the 6th inning, Braves have played long ball, as you see on our great clips of the game.
Boy, this was a laser shot by Brian McCann, and then just a little off the sides on that great clip there for Hayward going down the line, and then going the other way was Freddie Freeman with a long drive. Wow, 13 games with 3 or more homers, most in the big leagues. Already 2 more than last season.
So the night is over for A.J. Burnett. 6 runs in 5 innings of work, and 3 home runs for a man that had given up 4 in his previous 12 starts this season. And now the Braves will take a look at Jared Hughes, just brought up from AAA Indianapolis, where you see he was having a good run.
This is a big dude, 6'7", 245 pounds, out of Plano, Texas. Hughes pitched real well for these guys last season. '66 games, a .285 earned run average, saved a couple of ball games. B.J. Upton a roller toward third. Alvarez gets rid of it quickly, one out. But for Hughes, he led all National League rookie relief pitchers in ERA and was second in appearances and innings pitched, and part of their bullpen makeover.
Mostly a fastball slider guy with his fastball in the low to mid 90s.
So he's off to a good start tonight. He gets Upton to roll out to third. Now Chris Medlin bats. Chris 0 for 2. And a base hit for Chris. His second hit of the year.
Somewhere Tom Glavine has taken a break from watching his hockey game to appreciate the fine art of a pitcher hitting.
Anderson Simmons, an infield hit and a run scored that came ahead of Hayward's homer. Anderson a 9-game hit streak. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Braves. And low, ball 1. Ball 2. Alvarez fires quickly to second, and no chance to get Simmons at first. Pedro Alvarez made a nice play on that ball.
You know, we talk and I think concentrate so much on his offense because he was touted as a number 2 pick in the country, his best hitting player in college baseball that year. And he's been slow to really develop into the all-around offensive player that people expected. He's got great power, but never hit for a high average. And I think the one thing we've overlooked is the fact that he's a pretty good third baseman, and he's certainly got a good arm.
Good instincts, good reflexes on that play to get the force out. Now Hayward hits. One area where Alvarez would like to improve is defensively. I mean, he's going to hopefully Pirates get better with that batting average. 27 errors last year, 9 this year.
27, really?
27 at third base. Jason Hayward skies one out of play foul. He's our Moe's Southwest Grill home wrecker home run.
Even he wasn't sure when he hit this ball that it would stay fair. Give a little body English and right down the line. Didn't hook too much. His 3rd homer of the year.
And that one was a long time in coming. Mid-April was his last. So he's in double digits in RBIs now, and a chance for more here. As he's pushed off the plate, a ball and a strike. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Phillies are all over the Marlins tonight. That's 7-2 in the 7th. Phillies are trying to chase down the Nationals. They're only a game behind Washington. Phillies are in 3rd place. Runner goes. Pitch skied to center. Marte going back. He'll get there in time. And that retires the side. Hayward out on a drive to center, and this game moves to the 7th. Baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Joe mentioned earlier tonight the Braves have done a good job in winning first games of series. Be nice to see them win the second and third one as well and cap off a good homestand. Braves 18-7 so far here at Turner Field. Plenty of reinforcements hopefully coming as well to this Atlanta pitching staff. Brandon Beachy, as you know, is working on his comeback from Tommy John surgery. And for more on that, let's check in again with Elizabeth.
Chip, thank you. Pitched his 3rd rehab game tonight for Mississippi AA in Chattanooga. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 4 strikeouts. He did have 80 pitches. Freddie Gonzalez said before the game today that's what he wanted from him in this start, and then the goal is 100 pitches before his target return on June 18th.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And that June 18th day is a significant one for the Braves. We've got a doubleheader that day against the Mets.
Obviously having to pitch in some stressful situations too. Getting back into the swing of things with 80 pitches.
Pedro Alvarez starts things off for Pittsburgh. He's their 7th place hitter and is 1 for 2 tonight. Pulled foul, even count. Well, you mentioned the Pirates, because of their bad records, have really had great opportunities to pick high in the draft. Good to see them not miss on those #1 picks lately. Alvarez certainly applies.
Lately is a key word there, right? Because it wasn't their fault. They drafted a lot of pitchers with some top 5 picks in the last 10 or 15 years that were hurt. They just never developed because they were injured.
Way upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got to give a lot of credit to Neil Huntington, the senior vice president and general manager of the Pirates. Bob Nutting, the chairman of the board. Pittsburgh fans hoping that this at long last will be the year that they not only finish above 500 but make the playoffs. As you said, Top 3 records in the National League. Cardinals, Cincinnati, and the Pirates have won one more game than the Braves.
Brandon Inge there, another veteran player who's been through it and a good influence on these guys.
Gretchen Caney, our statistician, made a good point before the game today. Really impressive. Those 3 teams in the Central are doing what they're doing without Houston in the Central anymore. They're an American League club now.
Right. It's like they're taking it out on Milwaukee now.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And fouled back by Alvarez. Action begins in the Braves bullpen as Chris approaching 100 pitches tonight.
Yeah. Alex Wood is warming up. Mike Zagurski is loosening up in the Pirates pen. Alvarez and Mike Minor have a vested interest in that college game we were talking about with Vanderbilt, their alma mater.
Medlin takes care of Alvarez. 5 strikeouts, 1 away in the 7th.
That might be the first time that pitch has been called tonight on a lefty. And it was a strike. A.J. Burnett could not get that call.
Here's Barmes. 1. In the air to right. Jason in a couple of steps. 2 outs. He said tonight, Joe, something had to give for these 2 hard luck pitchers, and Chris Medlin's the beneficiary.
Yeah, we were kind of pulling for the guy in the navy and red at the beginning of things, but somebody had to get a break at some point. Tonight it's Medlin. Although still some outs to get, and this Pirates team has been a good come from behind team also.
This is Jordy Mercer with the bases empty in the 7th. Right, Pittsburgh 16 comeback wins. Three homers, 6 RBIs for Jordy Mercer. He was behind quickly, 0-2. See if Chris can finish with a flourish. He did. 3 pitches takes care of Jordy Mercer. 6 strikeouts for Chris Medlin. We head to the 7th inning stretch. Big Atlanta lead in game 1. Always love straight A's on our Blimpie game summary.
Gotta like it. Chris Medlin, 7 strong innings, only gave up 1 unearned run, struck out 6. That's more like it. McCann, Hayward, and Freeman with 2-run homers apiece. Good to see Jason with a good night too. He's got 2 knocks, hit another ball or 2 hard also. So good night all around.
Pittsburgh goes back to its bullpen after Jared Hughes worked a scoreless inning. Figure Chris Medlin's night done as he's over 100 pitches on a warm night and a big lead.
Good to see him smiling too.
You bet. Hughes gives way to Mike Zagurski.
Friends call him Bronco. He's made 2 appearances. The last time out, he worked an inning and 2/3, walked 3 batters, and gave up 4 runs. That'll put your ERA around 13.
He's got the heart of the Braves order, 3, 4, and 5 in this 7th inning. 2 left-handed bats, Freeman and McCann, coming up after Justin Upton.
He had 37 strikeouts and 21 innings of work in AAA.
You know what? If you can pitch for this Pirate bullpen, you're a pretty good pitcher.
You bet you are. They are the best by ERA in baseball. They've had to add a few people here the last couple of days because of a heavy workload. But their core has been outstanding.
One ball, 1 strike. 1 for 3 game for Justin tonight. One and 2. Justin almost fell down as he fought that ball off. It's 1 and 2.
Larry Walker told me before the game that he and Justin found something about a little move he's making with his bat that Justin doesn't even feel, and he doesn't even know he's doing it. They were trying to make him conscious of it. He's trying to make himself conscious of it, not to do it because it was causing him to be a little late to fastballs. And yesterday, I thought was great proof that they had locked into something because of the way he was turning on the ball and pulling it to the left side.
If a casual fan probably can't understand how this happens, but isn't it true one little thing can cause a chain reaction of problems at the plate?
Yeah, and it can slow you down, because I asked Larry, I said, when he just said that they found a little something, I said, was he blocking himself by having his hips turned too far? And he said, no, that's not an issue, never has been with Justin. And he said it was just a little thing with his bat, just a little twitch with his bat as he was going to the ball that was causing him to be late.
Let's see what he does with a 1-2 pitch from Mike Zagurski. He takes it low. Zagurski might be the most famous Pirate whose last name starts with Z since Richie Zisk. Good call.
He was an old teammate.
Really?
In Seattle. Yep.
That bounces up there. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I had the good fortune of playing center field between Richie Zisk and Jeff Burroughs for a time. That was one of the things in those days that kept me real skinny. Boy, oh boy.
Did you even have to say I got it, or did you just
no? Let's just say there was a lot of territory to cover.
3 balls, 2 strikes. And way high. McHenry had his stretch out of left arm to corral that pitch. Upton aboard with a leadoff walk.
Remember, I told you he walked 3 batters in an inning and 2/3 his last time out. We first saw him with the Phillies. He was taken by the Phillies in the 12th round of the 05 draft out of the University of Kansas. He's from Omaha. Six foot 240.
And a quick strike. Freeman to look back.
Change up.
Liner down the left field line, just foul.
Gursky actually last year was with the Diamondbacks. Pitched in 45 games for Arizona. Had a 5.5 ERA.
Upton at first, 2 strikes, nobody out. 6-1 Braves in the 7th. And Freddie didn't get an off-speed pitch. He is struck out. 1 on, 1 out. Brian McCann now a chance for some personal history. 1 hit away from 1,000. He probably won't forget number 999 either.
No, that was his 163rd career homer.
And it gave the Braves a lead that they haven't given back. First of 3 2-run homers hit by Atlanta tonight. Strike 1. Little looper over third. There it is. Brian McCann with 1,000 big league hits.
Fought it off inside. That's the Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot for hit number 1,000. And he'll be able to ride on that baseball that came off with Bronco Zagorski. Fans acknowledging it. Way to go, kid.
And how cool is it that the 2 hits he got tonight are polar opposites?
Yeah.
Pull the ball to right, hits one down the left field line.
You saw the ball being authenticated over in the Braves dugout.
So first and third. Chris Van Zandt hard at work too. He's got the magic wand from McCann. That's outside. What did they put on there?
Well, I think he was using like that white out and putting his own number on there. Like, hey, use my bat.
Could be. Let's see if Elizabeth can find out how they do that authenticating process down there. That's pretty cool.
Picture of the labeling.
Fly ball down the right field line. That's slicing into the seats. It's 2-1.
That Mizuno bat might go right into Brian McCann's trophy room.
$1,000 hits. And now a shot off the bat of Johnson into left field. Snyder makes the catch. Tagging from third is Upton. He'll score standing up. Johnson rewarded with an RBI. His 15th. 7-1 Atlanta.
Oh, he has smoked the ball 3 times tonight. 2 doubles and that sac fly. 15 RBIs for him. This ball down and in, and he didn't miss it. Woo! It happened to be right at Snyder.
We have our microphones in perfect position to hear the crack of the bat, don't we?
Yeah.
Braves have 10 hits tonight and 7 runs. Nice turnaround from that series up in Pittsburgh where the Pirates pitchers did a number on Atlanta. Tonight, they chased A.J. Burnett 6 runs in 5 innings. They've added 1 in the 7th. Now Ray Searage is out to talk to Zagurski, who's been very, very wild this inning.
Nobody throwing in their pen, and this may be one of those, you know what? We're going to need you to hang in there tonight, save the pen a little bit, work a little extra. So just try and bear down here and throw a few more strikes. He's been behind just about everybody. Ray Searage has done a good job with this staff too. Excellent job, not just this year, but their numbers over the last 3 years. They keep getting better and better from an ERA standpoint.
And not surprisingly, their record has improved as their ERA has dropped. And look at these numbers, very impressive work indeed.
Team ERA has dropped from 5 to what it is now at 3.16. That's some great work from Ray and the staff to get that kind of improvement.
And they're only going to get better as Cole, Tyon, Charlie Morton come back. Locke continues to grow up and pitch well. It's good for baseball. See the Pirates competitive, passionate fan base. Maybe the best ballpark in the East as far as that view and the vistas of Three Rivers and downtown Pittsburgh. And they've got all the pieces in place except most important, winning.
Yeah, if you're a left-handed hitter, especially, you know, if they start venturing out into the free agent market to go get some boppers, you'd think they'd go after some left-handed hitters with that short porch and right there. By the way, we got a shot of Jeff Bannister. He's the bench coach who took over for Clint Hurdle, and he was ejected.
That's downstairs, another walk. McCann to second. Ugla passed for the second time in the game. And B.J. Upton's the batter.
Four pitches this inning for Zagurski. And now Ryan Reed begins to throw in the pen.
He was the other youngster brought up today after Gomez went to the DL and Presley was sent to AAA. Two on, two out for BJ. High pop fly into the upper deck and out. Pirate fan dropped it. Low and inside, 2 balls and a strike. That's downstairs, 3-1. Another walk.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to watch. This guy's really struggling.
Three walks in the inning, and that's going to be all for Zagurski. A run, a hit, a sac fly, 3 bases on balls, and he'll depart with the bases loaded for Atlanta. Big night for the offense. 7-1, Braves lead it.
question. Brian McCann's 1,000 hit ball will be processed the same as any other ball that is hit, but it will be authenticated by Steve Nichols as his 1,000th hit. Also, the bat will go back to the Braves, which will then be authenticated for him. And after the game, all of the bases will also go back to the Braves, and they will all be authenticated as McCann's 1,000th hit.
Oh, I didn't know about the bases. Huh. That's pretty cool. So I hope it's a big trophy case of the McCann house.
Right. Well, it's easy to hang those bases. You just use that stem of the base and just shove it right into the drywall, and it'll hold right there.
I'll bet Ashley's right on board with that.
Yeah. Well, we got an interesting situation here. The bases are loaded, 2 out, and Ryan Reed is coming in to make his major league debut. Bases loaded. That's how he envisioned it. And as Laser Baker said, his mom's probably somewhere crying too over having to go in this situation.
Probably in Portland, Maine, where Ryan hails from. Went to James Madison. He pitched college ball. Spent a lot of time in the Tampa Bay organization. Never got a sniff with the big leagues. Fires one in at 92 miles an hour.
Good fastball.
What throw that's got to be. First big league pitch of taken strike. Bouncing ball left side. Tricky hop. Alvarez stuck with it and made a good play. Ryan Reed is in the big league encyclopedia. His big league debut a successful one. Braves settle for 1 in the 7th. It's a 7-1 game going to inning number 8. For the Braves, Ramiro Pena is taken over at third base for Chris Johnson. And after Chris Medlin goes 7 strong innings, allowing only 1 run, it's time to make an AT call to the bullpen. And for the second time, Alex Wood will be summoned for Atlanta.
Made his debut Thursday night, worked an inning, gave up a hit, but promptly got a double play turn behind him to get out of the inning, facing the minimum number of hitters. Drafted last year out of the University of Georgia, was just pitching lights out at AA Mississippi, in case you missed him Thursday night. 1.26 ERA and great numbers already in the minor leagues last year and this. And when he made his first appearance in the big leagues, his mom was overcome with emotion. You can certainly understand that. DP Lane to get him out of the inning.
So now he's got the top of the Pirates order and a 7-1 lead. He he can bring it. 94 miles an hour to Marte. Strike one. (94-86).
It's so good that motion. I mean, it's so deceiving, but that he can throw the changeup out of that same delivery without giving it away. Hard to stay back when you're trying to get ramped up for 94.
Good stuff, and that motion's got to be distracting the first time you see it, doesn't it? Well hit toward left, but that's playable. Upton's got it. There's the first out of the 8th inning. Base is clear. Time for our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
What'd you say? Oh, yeah. Bullpen ERAs this year. The Pirates #1 in the major leagues, and the Braves #2. Pirates went up a little bit tonight from a couple of guys that have not been part of the staff all year, just got called up to help fill in.
Match up here tomorrow night for game 2. Minor and Locke.
There are some people that have said that Wood would probably have been a first-round draft pick had other teams not shied away from his motion. They just didn't think that it was one that would serve him well through the course of the career. It'd be a little hard on his arm. Braves weren't shy about it, and nobody tried to change him. That's the good thing.
Yeah, why change what's made him successful in the first place? But an obvious question is, Wood is filling a, I don't want to say desperate need, but a very important need for the Braves in their bullpen. But he's been a starting pitcher. Many times you'll see a youngster come up from the minor leagues, serve a major league apprenticeship by pitching out of the bullpen, and then move into a starting assignment. Chris Medlin has done that.
Yes, and you think of other teams, they've done that too. I remember the Yankees, and they called up, was it Phil Hughes? He pitched out of the bullpen a lot. And effectively.
Mariano Rivera was the opposite. He was a failed starting pitcher.
Is that right?
Yeah, he started, didn't have much success. So it'll be fun to see where Wood's talents take him.
Could have been Rivera needed more than one pitch to be a starter.
Yeah. They're going to catch on to the cutter eventually, right?
You'd think. Tell you what, Alex doesn't waste any time. What an inning.
Wow, 1, 2, 3. He gets Garrett Jones to strike out. Crowd in Atlanta appreciates Alex Wood and a 7-1 lead. Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day.
Good job by Ryan Reed getting out of the bases loaded jam in his major league debut last inning.
Sharply hit. Nice pickup, Alvarez.
If you had just brought someone in and had them evaluate Pedro Alvarez and then told them after the game that he made 27 errors last year, they wouldn't believe you.
Not after tonight. A couple of good plays.
And good throws. Been showing a really strong arm. Last report we had about that Vanderbilt Georgia Tech game was 4-1 Vandy, bottom of the 7th. For the right to go on to the Super Regionals. And again, a game that had the interest of General Manager Frank Wren of the Braves because his son Kyle is playing for Georgia Tech.
Big night for Jason Hayward. 2 hits, including a 2-run homer. Best sign of all, his first hit was an opposite field single.
Yeah, he hit a good pitch. Burnett made a good pitch down and away. And Jason went with it.
Little chopper toward first. 2 outs.
Something different about Ryan Reed's jersey. I mean, you just get here. You don't care what number's on it. You don't care what it looks like. But you see Clint Barmas there. He's number 12. You can tell that when you look at the front of his jersey. But our crew picked up the fact that Mr. Reed doesn't have his number yet on the front. And I know he doesn't care. Flip Feinberg took a minute away from the weather radar to notice that one. Can't slip anything past Howard.
That's it. 1 ball, no strikes to Justin Upton. Scored 2 runs this evening. And he'll bounce towards short. Barmas gloves, grabs guns, and Reed has been very impressive in an inning and a third. We head to the 9th. Down a trio of 2-run homers tonight. And while we have a moment, let's revisit our AT&T Uverse trivia question.
Mentioned earlier that A.J. Burnett's 11 career losses against the Braves are second most among active pitchers. Who has more losses against the Braves than A.J. Burnett?
I don't have a clue. I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'm going to stay within the division.
Okay.
And I'm going to go like Ricky Nolasco.
I had his name written down. And I was going to say Anibal Sanchez, but after he struck out 17 guys up in Detroit, I don't want to go there. So I'll stick with you and go Ricky Nolasco. Let's see if we're right.
Shucks. That's kind of hard to believe, except that he pitched for the Marlins.
Right.
So the Braves saw him a lot before he went to Chicago.
And now Dempster with the Red Sox. And Burnett, if he falls tonight, he'll lose his 12th against the Braves. So Alex Wood, fresh off his first big league strikeout, goes to work in the 9th. Gabby Sanchez. And that's in the air to center and on a hop to B.J. Upton. 2-hit night for Gabby Sanchez. And Travis Snyder, the hitter. Delta Airlines, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. 7-1 is your score. Braves trying to win their 19th game at home against only 7 losses. Mentioned when Alex debuted, these are the kind of matchups the Braves are going to pay extra close attention to. How does he do against left-hand hitters? That went off the glove, and Sanchez moves up 90 feet. Wild pitch.
Ryan may have gotten crossed up because he went to the chalk before he went out there, thinking maybe Alex didn't see his fingers too well. With a runner at second, they need to get together on the signs too.
One ball, one strike.
Again, Brian got crossed up. This was the wild pitch. Ryan looking for a breaking ball. Oh no, this is a wild pitch. Beg your pardon.
Hopefully they've got their signs straight now with a 1-2 count. And Snyder waves and misses. Alex has his second strikeout tonight. And Michael McHenry is up. Just joining us, it was a crazy start to this game. Pittsburgh scored first in the 3rd inning. Neil Walker was hit by a pitch with 2 strikes. Then Gabby Sanchez doubled him home to make it 1-0. Braves got 2 runs in the 4th inning. Leadoff walk to Freeman. McCann hit a homer. And then as the inning continued to progress, A.J. Burnett kept getting more and more frustrated with that man, the home plate umpire, Dan Iasonia.
And he complained that it wasn't high. He was talking, he even showed him where the pitch was, and that got Iasonia riled up. And on the next pitch, which looked like it was almost right down the middle for a strike, he called it a ball. And then Russell Martin he never turned around. Russell was headed out to the mound and must have said the magic word, and Iasonia threw him out of the game.
And then Clint Hurdle came out as well. He was tossed for the Pittsburghers. So McHenry took over behind the plate. And A.J. Burnett had a rough time of it. 2 more 2-run homers came across in the 5th inning. One by Hayward, one by Freddie Freeman.
Atlanta added a run off Mike Zagurski in the 7th. Now we're in the 9th, where Alex Wood tries to finish off a 7-1 game. Medlin was terrific. 6 strikeouts, no walks, only 1 run, 7 hits, and a much needed burst of run support for him and effective pitching.
Yeah, and an unearned run at that.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul by the Braves dugout.
Brian was trying to give Alex a little direction there on that pitch, wanting him to really bounce it up there, throw it down. But he left it up, and fortunately it was fouled off. But look at Brian with his glove, tapping the ground, keep it down. But it looped and stayed up, but was hit foul.
Swing and a miss. McHenry. 3 strikeouts.
His changeup's outstanding for a guy with as little experience as he has. It is really a developed pitch coming out of college. Turns it over a little bit, causes it to run away from right-handed hitters, and then I believe it was a breaking ball that he struck out Snyder with that he needs for left-handed hitters, so he's got it for both sides.
And that's another challenge, is it not, for a guy pitching out of the bullpen? Can you keep 3 or 4 pitches sharp? Alvarez, the hitter.
Well, I don't know that he'll need 4, but if he's got his good line fastball, whether he uses 2-seamer or 4-seamer, I guess that would give him 4. But the changeup to right-handers, the breaking ball to lefties, that'll be good.
Braves doing a real good job of putting in low pressure situations to get his feet wet, get some experience, get some confidence rolling. He's throwing strike after strike. 25 pitches, 19 strikes.
And that's a good slow curve. It's like an off-speed pitch. Good hook.
He's 1 strike away. $19,526 the crowd in Atlanta.
Oh.
He thought he had the corner.
He did. He was beginning to moonwalk. Oh, baby. Right there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Kind of like the fact that the fans here, Bulldogs and Yellow Jackets alike, are barking for Alex Wood to finish off this game. That's into the seats. Foul. We'll do it again.
Get after him and polish it off.
Ball 4. Well, it looked like he had Alvarez struck out, didn't get the call. Now he's got to go after Parmas. 2 on, 2 out. said it a million times. Biggest key for a relief guy, 4 strikes.
Well, the Pirates doing it the right way, old school, down 6, taking a strike, 9th.
And that's down the right field line, and that's headed for the corner. That'll score at least 1. Alvarez will be stopped at third, or he'll stop at third.
Yeah.
7-2 game.
Nick Leyva had moved down the line, the third base coach, waiting to see how the ball was going to be played in the corner. And he did make it a rather late sign, but by that time Alvarez had turned his head and had just pulled up and stopped at third base. He could have scored easily. Got a look there, the arm wave, but Alvarez stopped.
And this is another example of the attempt by Clint Hurdle to change the culture in Pittsburgh. He talks all the time about finishing at bats, finishing innings, finishing games. As this game came to the 9th inning, it looked like the Pirates were out of this ball game. But until you get that 27th out, he is ingrained in the culture of his team. Until the game's over, keep battling away. You never know. And as we said, 16 comeback victories for Pittsburgh this year. So Brandon Inge, the hitter. Inge for Reed. 7-2 game. 1. They got him in the late stages of spring training this year. See what Brandon's done in his 32 games.
He got hurt too. Missed a little time.
The right scapula. I don't know what that is, but it sounds bad.
That's a shoulder blade.
1 and 2.
That's where mine is. I don't know where yours is.
I wasn't pre-med like you.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see if Alex can finish it off. To short. Simmons has it. And the Braves beat Pittsburgh. Alex Wood gives up a run in the 9th inning, but strikes out 3 men in his 2 innings of relief. Chris Medlin started and picks up a much-needed 2nd win. Braves knock off Pittsburgh, pick up a game on the Nationals as well, and this series off to a great start. 7-2 the final. More from Turner Field after this.